Hey, Salawam. First and foremost, as usual, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start it off by facing the east and giving all the glory and infinite praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who I'm taught and learn this truth 100% from. Peace and blessings be to you, Akim, Wa'akwati, that are serving Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, sincerity, hoping for mercy and salvation in these last days, man. Shalom and Yahweh Shema Sabrakadun. So I got this video queued up that I want to play of this ex-Army Ranger, Nick Irving, or Nicholas Irving, being interviewed on, he basically giving his opinion on, if China, or how would Russia, not Russia's like it, but how would the United States stand against a full-blown war against China? Because a couple of days ago, concerning the tariffs, Trump had basically planned on, increasing those tariffs, and China had responded back with, basically with fighting words, man. Right? Basically saying that, whatever war that the United States want to fight, shit, we completely with it, whether that be ground, that be a trade war, which is, hey, we basically already in a trade war, man. Canada, they done cleared all, America-owned liquor off their shelves. And it's a lot of other things happening concerning the tariffs, man. But he was being asked if America would stand a chance against China in a full-blown war, and he said that basically they could crush the U.S. if they wanted to. Now, America has technology. America has tactics, so on and so forth. But shit, China is just right there with Babylon, man. And this is why the scripture say in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, let the weak say I'm strong, man. And I mentioned this many times. At a point in time, nobody had what the so-called white man had over here in Babylon, man. Right? It's especially when it comes to dealing with that atomic bomb. But now everybody got their hands on the power that the so-called white man possess now. He may have, a little more because, he living in his blessing. His blessing is the sword, of course. All right. But these other nations, they have that same capability, man. So this is why Iran, they showing off they missiles, deep underground military bases full of missiles. They call it Missile City. North Korea doing the same thing. I just seen something where China, Japan, and South Korea actually just joined forces. So we in that era where the Most High is stirring up the minds of these nations to rise up against America, man. And like he was saying, people here in Babylon, however you think and however you feel today, scratch that shit. Erase all that, because one thing about it is that you Babylonians, man, you Americans have never experienced war on American soil. I ain't talking about that 9/11 shit. I'm not talking about the Pentagon. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about you ain't never actually experienced war on American soil, man. All right, like I just seen this video yesterday. I think Israel just sent another strike to Gaza, and shit, when the missile had made impact on a building, motherfucking bodies was just flying. I might try to do a lesson on it, but bodies was flying hundreds of feet in the air and shit, and you can see it on camera. You just seen the bodies just tumbling lifelessly in the air and shit. Americans ain't never seen nothing like that. Americans ain't never, heard sirens go off and having to run in the house because another nation sending missile strikes over here. You ain't never been invaded by another nation to where it's dangerous in your streets. Other nations are setting up what they call what's that, garrisons. That ain't been here ever before. But we coming to a point in time in history pursuing the biblical prophecy, man, that the Most High is gonna allow all those things to happen. The Most High is gonna allow America to be invaded. And however you think, scratch that shit, man. Because one thing about you Babylonians, you sure talk a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? People here in America don't believe that it can happen. But it's gonna happen, and when it do happen, trust and believe me, it's gonna hit y'all harder than what you even expected to, man. But I want to go ahead and play this video, and then I got some resources that I want to get to so I can break it down.
With that tariff, they're ready to fight any type of war that Trump wants to fight. Like they came back with very, very strong words. They were like, if it's war that the U.S. wants, be it tariff or a trade war or any other type of war, we're ready to fight to the end.
Yeah.
If the U.S. went to war with China.
Wouldn't be a U.S. anymore. I think the American people's mindset would change drastically. However you feel today and how you felt in the past, like erase all that. You want to get thrown back into the Stone Age in a matter of...
Hey, as he said, however you feel today and however you feel, whatever. Scratch all that. Alright? Because right now you comfortable. You know what I mean? No, just like how when Noah was prophesying about rain dropping and water coming up out of the earth as a flood, and nobody believed it because those type of things weren't taking place back then. That's the same thing when we say that America's gonna be invaded, missiles are gonna be how Babylon is destroyed, etc., and nobody believes it. They got that sense of pride, so to speak. Even Jake in Babylon be like, America too strong to be taken over. But you gonna see, bro. You gonna see the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, because the Most High has raised this man up for a purpose. The Most High has gave this man the power and the pride that he has given him, just so he can show everybody on the earth just how powerful Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is. Just like how he did in ancient Egypt. The same purpose that he raised up the Pharaoh is the same reason he raised up the bases of man. This nigga came all the way from the caves, bro. He came up all the way from the caves into the seat that he in now. Right? That itself is divine intervention. And you're gonna see Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua take his ass right up out the power seat, man. Using these other nations to blow this motherfucker up, man. When Yahushua come back. But I want to grab this real quick, and I actually got the video dissected. Let's grab Ecclesiastes 7 and 10 in the GNT version, because it's a translation that actually caught my eye that I wanted to pull out. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 10, and Ecclesiastes 7 and 10 in the GNT, and it reads, "Never ask, oh, why were things so much better in the old days? It is not an intelligent question." All right, because we know why. Whenever these things start to take place, whenever you start to see these foreign troops probably dressed even in American gear, you see them dressed in American gear, but they not speaking English. They out there speaking in Russian and all this shit. We gonna know exactly why these things are taking place. But for those out there, as the scriptures say, you're going to have those 5 wise and those 5 foolish virgins. The foolish virgins are going to be the ones out here asking those questions that, this shit should be no-brainer at this point in time if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, because the message and the warning has been put out there, man. All right? Let me read it over again. It says, "Never ask, oh, why? Oh, why were things so much better in the old days?" And that's what people's mindset is going to go into, man. Right, you thinking that shit is a little bad right now? Wait until we at the climax of these prophecies being booming, bro. You gonna wish that you can go back, you know what I'm saying, and just deal with inflation instead of dealing with these motherfuckers out in the streets, kicking in your doors, you know what I'm saying, taking you to the nearest FEMA camps, because that's exactly what's gonna happen. All right, because in this video, he goes to mentions on how basically the American military is you know, the ground troops is basically weak. You know what I'm saying? There's such, you know, percentage that's out of shape in the military. You got women in the military. Most of the motherfuckers there just for a paycheck and a Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? They don't really stand on shit like how troops, you know what I'm saying, and people who join the military in Russia and all those other different countries, you know what I'm saying, are, man. They actually go and join their military because they want to serve their country, bro. They want to defend their country. People here in Babylon, hey, shit go left with a nigga football career. Then he decided to join the Marine Corps at like 25. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely not gonna use National Guard, you know, none of that shit whenever it comes down to it. All right, they gonna use them people from overseas to get the job done, because one thing about it is that they gonna get the job done, man. Right? They gonna come over here and they gonna put you Babylonians in check, by force. You know what I'm saying? By force. They're not gonna come over here to play with you, none of that, because it even talks about in Jeremiah the 6th chapter on how they gonna be like roaring lions, man. They gonna come over here and, like Jake said, they gonna stand on business, man. All right. So when you got that taking place, you're gonna have people wishing that they could go back. Like I remember whenever, what was it? It was 2020. It just 2020 it just came in after Trump, and Trump had bombed Iran's top general in that year, in like January. And you had motherfuckers posting memes talking about we're going back in 2019 to run away from World War III or something like that. Y'all gonna wish that y'all was able to come back in this time and be able to just roam around freely as you can. Be able to go to work and, you know, bullshit around, man. You gonna wish that you was able to do that. So let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Matter of fact, I got this is the book of Ezekiel 38. In verse 10 it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." And that evil thought that the Most High is going to basically possess on these other nations is to basically come up against Babylon, which, you know, that it'll ultimately boil down to these other nations shooting missiles over here, but also invading Babylon, because the Most High said in Jeremiah the 51st chapter that he was going to send famines upon Babylon the phantom. It's saying, "Thou shalt say," here's the point, "I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest," because the people here are at rest. This is why he was saying that the Americans' people mindset would change drastically. Meaning it's going to do a completely 360 turnaround, bro. Because everybody got a plan until some shit is in it, or until some shit is thrown to disrupt it, man. Right? Well, when it's a monkey wrench thrown in your plan and you got to make a whole ass full adjustment, your mindset gonna completely change, bro. Right? Once you see that Call of Duty, that type of shit ain't real life. Once you see that, war, as they say, only somebody who ain't never been in war wants to experience war. You know, you got Jake over here thinking that they gonna be out here letting switches go and shit. You probably will be. But this shit ain't gonna go like how you think it's gonna go. You ain't gonna be out here rolling, jumping over shit, dodging bullets. You're not gonna be doing none of that, bro. Alright? I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. And if something don't got bars, gates, fence, anything to basically keep a perimeter around it, so to speak, it's unsafe. And that's basically how Babylon is, man. Babylon can be invaded from the north or the south, bro. We just seen this whole border crisis. What you think that was about? Babylon was being invaded, man. You know what I'm saying? As they say, they would never let a good crisis go to waste. All that just Issachar coming in and whoop whoop whoop. All that shit was just a psyop. Issachar was coming in. You had Jake from Asher coming in, so on and so forth. All that was used as a cover up to basically hide who they was really bringing in, man. Cause I remember I had seen an interview with Sarah Adams. She was talking about how like 1,800 well-known terrorists were basically snuck in through the border. So war is here, bro. It's here, and it's just it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when Yahweh by Shem Shah allows it to happen, man. But we know that pursuing a prophecy and measure the times diligently, that this shit coming, bro. This shit coming. It could be because I seen another video where this Edomite woman, she was explaining on how this, what is it called? I forgot exactly what this bill is that Trump had passed, but basically it'll allow the United States government to be taken over by foreign troops, right? By foreigners, man. And she was mentioning how it can be anywhere from April 20th in the days and in the weeks and months coming after that, man. And now, of course, you can't take her, can't take her word for it, because at the end of the day, no man knows the day nor hour. But we in them times, man. We in them times, and we know that because of what's happening around the world, man. So now let's go to the book of Jeremiah 49 and 31. Then I'm gonna get back to the video. This is the book of Jeremiah 59 and 31, and it says, "Arise, get you up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith the Lord, which have neither bars nor gates, which dwell alone." And this is a careless ass nation, bro. If I was to go across the street, I see Issachar across the street right now. If I was to go across the street and get to telling Issachar, like, hey, spilling the beans to him, letting them know what's gonna happen, they wouldn't give a fuck. They'll probably try to, they'll wave me off, like, man, go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere with my kids, whatever the case may be. You Babylonians don't give a fuck, right? Until it's at your doorstep. And then when it's at your doorstep, you're going to be seeking for answers. You're going to be trying to figure out why this is going on, what's happening, how long it's going to happen. And you're going to be out here assed out, bro. You're going to be out here assed out. You know what I'm saying? Like he was mentioning, man, they could throw America into a stone age if they want to. They could throw this motherfucker into a stone age. And they even said that, with the statistics, that if the power grid was a shut down here in Babylon, which ain't far-fetched, because with places up north and east, New York, all them other different, eastern states or northern states, they get their power from Ontario. With this tariff, if they want to just stop supplying America with that power, they can do that like that and shut this whole shit down, right? Or Yahweh by Shemal Shaka with the spirit, on Moab, to just drop an EMP above this bitch and everything is cooked and fried, man. It could be like that. But the point that I wanted to get was that nation that dwelleth without care, man. Because the way that you think right now, the way that you're gonna think tomorrow, you're not gonna think about that when you forced to deal with prophecy, when you forced to deal with the actual troop banging in, trying to get in your house to grab you and your family up and put your ass on the nearest train track to send you off to the nearest FEMA camp, man. All right. So now let's get back to this.
Of minutes, if they wanted to shut down our power grid, internet, and all that stuff, the electronic infrastructure, power grid, like we would be thrown back into the Stone Age. I think it was like 70% of the military personnel are overweight and obese, which is insane. It's a crazy high number. The mindset of the average troop nowadays, the average soldier, they're not prepared to really go all out for anything. Most of the guys are in for a paycheck. They're not even thinking about war. They don't even know what war is like. The war ended back in 2012, 14 or something like that. I'm talking hard combat. A nation like China, a country like China, I don't think we're prepared for that. The average soldier, ground fighter, we fought guys in flip-flops and sandals and man dresses, for 20 years, and they put up a hell of a fight. Imagine guys with technology, training, money, power, more manpower. They have a Navy, Air Force. They have all that, the special forces. They have all that. When I joined Ranger Battalion, the first question I was asked when I got in there, and he asked each of us, why are you here? And you come across with the whole, I want to serve my country, be all that I can be, and he's like, no, cut the bullshit. Why are you here? And as blunt as it may come across, we all to a T said it, because I want to kill people. And that sounds bad, but in the time of war, that's what you don't become a special operations guy training and doing all this training to be a nation builder and win the hearts and minds. You only train for one specific job, and it's all volunteer. You don't volunteer to get into this line of work and not want to kill or be capable of it. I don't know. That's what I was in for. I think that mentality has shifted, changed. Just that. We wanted to go kill as many bad guys as we possibly could.
China, when they...
So he had mentioned something on how Babylon would basically be thrown into a Stone Age. And as I was explaining, man, the statistics even shown that 90 to 95% of Americans were basically they wouldn't be able to make it if that was the case. And the power ain't gonna be on forever, man. Right? The scriptures talk about the famine of the word. The internet gonna be plugged, right? And even the power in certain different cities, because of course, grant you, the power gonna be on in certain 15-minute cities, because they're gonna have to have the power in order to establish that digital system, man. Right, in order for them to implement the MOTB. But you're gonna have the power out, you know what I'm saying, that the grid gonna be cut off across certain cities and states, man. And when it is, trust and believe you me, shit gonna be real ugly. Shit gonna be real ugly. And a good documentary to watch is The American Blackout. They give a depiction on how it would be if there was a blackout here in America and shit was hitting the fan. Within a couple of days, motherfuckers started robbing and looting each other, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be ugly out here, bro. So scripture on the grab is the book of 2 Ezra 15 and 57, and it reads, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. Thy city shall be broken down, man. When you think of a broken down city, a city that's broken down is basically, it has no more structure. All right, there's no more 911 services. Imports are no longer a thing. Society is basically not functioning, so to speak. That's exactly what it's gonna be like, man. All right, the society not gonna be functioning the way that it's functioning now, to where you can live comfortably and go up the street, get McDonald's if you want, go fill up gas in your car, go chill outside without even having to worry about somebody trying to harm you. It's gonna be a point in time where you're not even gonna want to contact another human being because shit gonna be that shiesty out here. Shit gonna be grimy out here, man. Whenever these cities is broken down, and a good movie to watch is that movie called The Road. It show you on how the cities was broken down and everybody was just resorting to cannibalism and looting and scavenging and shit. It's gonna go back to a dog eat world, man. And second is the 16th chapter, which is I ain't gonna grab it. That's another good chapter to get into, to basically show you on how the cities is gonna be broken down. You gonna have the vines, vegetation growing up in the streets. Women gonna be out here losing their husbands because they gonna be out here catching bullets from Russian troops and all that. All right, when they say that, and thou shalt fall through the sword, that's what that's getting into. All right, you ain't only gonna have to just deal with the citizens of Babylon that's gonna be out here in a state of desperateness, but you're gonna have to worry about them troops, man. So I think I'm gonna probably go ahead and end it there. And there's a couple other scriptures that I can grab, but I've been kind of going a little long, man. So I don't want to say, the lesson was edifying, and that you brothers and sisters did, take something from this epistle, man. So with that being said, Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shabrakatun, Nabab.